Hi everybody, my name is John from Heritage Tours and Safaris based in St. Lucia, South Africa, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the western shores of the iSimangaliso Wetlands Park, which is part of the greater UNESCO World Heritage Site found just north of St. Lucia. In our previous videos we discussed in depth the eastern shores, which is the section of the park along the coastline. So we took a look at some of the game drive routes, some of the animals, the viewpoints, the coastal forests, as well as some of the beautiful beaches to be found along the eastern shores. And in today we are exploring the western shores, which is the section on the opposite side of Lake St. Lucia, on the western shores as the name suggests, and it is a very different area compared to the eastern shores. It is a more flat region, so we lack very large coastal sand dunes and dense forests. It is more of a grassland area with large expanses of open plains, a very good area to try and spot some animals. We have a large variety of plains game species, as well as 4 of the big 5 occurring in this section of the park, and we also have some beautiful viewpoints as well as an aerial boardwalk to explore. So in today's video we're going to tell you more about the park. We'll discuss some of the game drive loops that you'll take and also what you can expect to find along the way, and we'll give you some tips and pointers on the western shores to try and help you make your visit worthwhile, as well as give you some inside information on making your stay just a little bit better. The western shores can be accessed by entering the Duku Gate, only a 5-minute drive from St. Lucia town. Gate opening and closing times from October to April are 6 AM to 6 PM, and from November to March 5 AM to 7 PM. iSimangaliso entry fees are the most affordable of all surrounding parks and reserves, or alternatively you can make use of a gold rhino card if you have one. The western shores for a very long period was utilized for commercial forestry purposes, so a lot of the open grasslands have now been cleared of the eucalyptus plantations that occurred in the area, and it was one of the last areas to open up to the public in around 2014. Since then the iSimangaliso Wetlands Park have upgraded the roads, included some modern facilities such as an aerial boardwalk, some game drive loops, as well as some picnic sites with modern ablution facilities. Now the roads in the western shores are suitable for most vehicles, small and large, although always driving gravel routes, especially during the rainy season in the summertime, may see some muddy sections forming, as well as there are 1 or 2 low river crossings on some of the game drive loops that could be flooded during the summertime rainy season. But other than that, generally speaking, it will be accessible to almost any vehicle for you to come and enjoy the day without worrying too much about whether or not you're going to get stuck. The very first game drive loop you're able to take in the western shores is called the Umpate Loop. It is a 22-kilometer long loop that veers off the main road towards the west. Often recommended to drive this loop as it does cross through the Umpate stream, and it has a number of wetlands beside the road, often attracting animals. Now, I would recommend as well driving this route early in the morning, as it does take you away from looking directly into the sun, which does make spotting somewhat more difficult. Now, giraffes are one of the animal species that are found on the western shores and not on the eastern shores. Simple reason for that being the fact that Lake St. Lucia, an almost 80-kilometer long lake and estuarine system, forms a natural biogeographical boundary for these animals to cross. The very steep dune systems of the eastern shores may also be less desirable for giraffes to be moving around in, so preferring the slightly harder soils and the more flat terrain on the western shores makes a lot of sense for them. Now, after a busy morning viewing animals and birds, you can take a break at the very scenic Ubejan picnic site situated a few kilometers north of the Mpate Loop exit. It is surrounded by some beautiful large marula and mahogany trees beneath which you are able to have a picnic or coffee, and there is an opportunity to use the restroom facilities as well. But as always, one needs to be aware of your surroundings when exiting your vehicle and stay within the confines of the picnic area. Your next stop along the route is the Mkadankau Hide, just north of the picnic site. Follow the road signs towards Makakatana Bay to get there, and take note of the one-way routes towards the hide. You will be required to walk about 80 meters along an unfenced pathway to get to the hide, so always be on the lookout for big animals. The hides are mostly dry during the winter, but offer some respite from the vehicle and just time to enjoy the peace and quiet of the bush. Next, you will be heading to the Mdoni Loop and the Mtoma aerial boardwalk, but first you'll pass by the Kwelezintombi Pan, which usually holds some water and is frequented by many animals and birds. The Mdoni Loop enters a thick forested section where you should keep an eye out for the shy and elusive Inyala antelope, which are well camouflaged amongst their surroundings. When arriving at the Mtoma boardwalk, there is a 350-meter walk into the forest to get there. Always be aware of your surroundings, as elephants often love these forested regions, so be safe. Along the way, you'll see that most trees have name plaques on them. This is a great way to learn more about trees, so be on the lookout for them. The aerial boardwalk is built around some very large and beautiful Cape ash trees, and they overlook Lake St. Lucia and the eastern shores beyond it. You might spot some hippos in the water below and a variety of birds in the trees around you. It is a great place just to spend some time at. Now, after a fantastic day of exploring the western shores, you can enjoy a magnificent sunset on your way out and start planning your next visit again. Heritage Tours and Safaris in St. Lucia offers sunset and night drives into the western shores of the iSimangaliso Wetland Park. It is the only way for visitors to enter the park at night, as it is closed for day visitors after dark. Nighttime sees a plethora of different animals becoming active, such as bush babies, hyena, leopard and many more. So contact Heritage Tours and Safaris or pop into our offices on the main road in St. Lucia and join us on one of these exciting nighttime excursions.